Hi, I'm Sarah Martin, the Student Services TOSA, and this is the Building Trauma-Informed Classrooms professional development video. Let's start with some trauma basics. Trauma is when we experience very stressful, frightening, or distressing events that are difficult to cope with or out of our control. Trauma is an experience. Trauma can be physically or emotionally harmful. Children who are exposed to abuse and trauma may develop a heightened stress response. This can impact their ability to regulate their emotions. It can lead to sleep difficulties, lower immune function, and increase the risk of a number of physical illnesses throughout their childhood. A quote that I'd like to share with you is that trauma comes back as a reaction, not a memory. This relates to our work as educators because children often have maladaptive behavior presented as a result of the trauma they've experienced. Up to 67% of children in the United States have experienced serious trauma. Those children are 15 times more likely to attempt suicide in their lifetime, and they're 95% more likely to exhibit maladaptive behavior. We know that trauma leads to dysregulation. We also know that when we are dysregulated, it takes us at least 8 minutes to return to baseline. It can take us up to 26 hours to come back down from an escalated state. So something that we should consider as educators is the location of the trauma and how often we are truly seeing our students in a state of regulation. So let's talk about some strategies that we can employ to help students who have experienced trauma. Some basic strategies include employing thoughtful interactions with the student, being specific about building relationships with the student. One example of this is the 2x10 relationship building strategy that is highlighted in the Building Relationships PD video. We also want to promote predictability and consistency. We can do that in the classroom effectively through the use of routines and procedures. It's also important to limit exclusionary practices. Exclusionary practices in the school setting are defined as discipline that removes the student from the classroom. And some examples are in-school suspension, off-school suspension, and expulsion. When supporting students who have experienced trauma, educators should also try to expect the unexpected. Put reactions into context and avoid taking the student's behaviors personally. And try to avoid reacting when a student behavior takes you by surprise. Another strategy that you can employ is to change the channel. Teaching students that their brain is like a remote control that they can use to switch the channel can help them learn to calm down. These switching activities are called cognitive distractions or thought breaks and are incompatible with negative thinking. A listening center or a find the picture activity can be helpful to young children. For older students, you might try Mad Libs, trivia, or more abstract strategies such as counting all the green items in the room, saying the alphabet backwards, or thinking of the first 10 lines of a favorite movie. Also, we can build connections with our students. Doing things like yoga or stretching, dancing, playing, helping others, breathing exercises, singing, humming, spending time outside, or creating art all help the student to regulate their nervous system and can be very beneficial in helping students who have experienced trauma. Above all, we need to foster a feeling of safety at school. Students can't learn unless they feel safe. We want to intentionally build supportive and sensitive environments where students feel comfortable, safe, able to take risks, learn, and heal. Here are some additional visuals for you to see. I also wanted to mention that we do have additional resources on the Behavior Support Team website. We have a Google Drive shared folder that is updated regularly for PSUSD teachers. Supporting students who have experienced trauma can be difficult and taxing for us. So I wanted to highlight this visual for you about some strategies you can employ to encourage self-regulation for yourself. So, in review, trauma comes back as a reaction, not a memory. Trauma affects up to 2/3 of United States children. Children with trauma are 95% more likely to exhibit maladaptive behaviors. Trauma impacts our autonomic nervous system and connections less than the impacts of trauma, and safety is required for students to learn. Thank you for taking the time to watch this training video. I hope that you've gotten something out of it, and feel free to reach out if you have any comments or questions.
I can see why you wanted to